Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's running of the Max Graphix Superspeedway series. I want to apologize for coming on late. We're actually dealing with computer updates and everything else, so just waiting for iRacing to finally allow me to launch it, but didn't want to keep you guys waiting anymore, and want to go ahead and get this thing started. Alongside me, as always, is Will. Will, how's it going?
It's going good, Tim. It's pouring down rain here down in Florida, so I'm getting a lot of rain in my headset. But man, I am excited for that Daytona Legacy race here tonight. I'm gonna see if Chris Brown can go back to back in tonight's race.
That would be awesome. Last week his first race here with Max Graphix Super Speedway Series. Once again, want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. As always, we love bringing this series to you, and we'll get things started momentarily. Just still waiting for iRacing to allow me to come in. Tonight we're racing Daytona Legacy, which is kind of Daytona. I want to say before the pave or the repave or something like that. So it's going to be a little bit more bumpy tonight. Let me try to fix something real quick. Oh, there we go. That fixed it a little bit. It's going to be a little bumpier than these guys are used to, but they are in the Xfinity cars, which really just, they just handle so well. And that's why these guys run that Xfinity car. It feels nice, feels comfortable. But what are you looking forward to tonight here at Daytona?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Tim. I actually was speaking with Chris, our Countdown to Green show that we do every Wednesday for 10-4 broadcasting here. And unfortunately, the audio was very bad on there, so you couldn't hear what Chris was saying. But he was actually talking about this Daytona Legacy track because I asked him, point blank, what the difference was between the regular Daytona and the Daytona Legacy. And he told me, oh, I'm going into the Matrix there in my camera.
Oh,
But he told me that the track is a lot more bumpier. It was actually before the repave. So you're going to see these cars sliding around this track here tonight. And Tim, I know there was some hostility after last week's race, so I can only imagine what it's going to be like after this race.
hey, these guys do not race for no reason. These guys go out there and race week in and week out. So that way, they're just so competitive. And it's just like in the real world, NASCAR drivers take this thing very serious and things get competitive. But heading into tonight, let me pull up the point standings really quick. Let's see, wrong thing. Here we go. Point standings. Nathan is still your leader, only by 7 points over Martin Plute, who we will be riding on board with here tonight. And then third place, we got Justin B. White, 12 points behind the leader. Third place, Jason Shue, 19 points behind. Stan Hausman, 22 points behind. Of course, he's always driving around in that Beer Street Journal Chevrolet. Love that paint scheme. That's your top five. Doug Neal, 6th. JT Poole, 7th. Jeff White, 8th. 9th, Ben Mashburn. And 10th, Chris Darling, who so far, let's talk about Darling's season so far. It's very surprising. Now I look like I'm talking to the Hulk. You've turned green on me.
Those point standings are tighter than the close here in the Matrix, I got to tell you.
But taking you through those guys.
Morpheus brought me up. No, there I go. I'm going back through the phone booth. But hey, as you were saying, Tim, Chris Darling, one of the guys from last year, he was really a top contender. He's actually one of the guys I like to call out during the races because he's part of that heavyweight team I like to call out between him, Ben Mashburn, Chris Darling. Martin Pluth is one of the guys we see up there running with him almost every week. And I think it's just going to take him to break through one of these tracks. Maybe it's tonight. Maybe it's when we kind of go back through the schedule here and we start hitting iRacing Super Speedway and everything like that. But Tim, it just takes one win in this series. We saw it last week with Chris Brown, and Martin Pluth has got a victory in this series. Just if you can just get one or two wins in this series, I think you can put yourself in really good shape for the championship.
Yeah, I agree. And sorry, I'm trying to figure out this iRacing situation. It's telling me I can't launch it. I don't know. I'm very confused as to what's going on here. So,
And then it's funny that you mentioned Nathan Maurer because he came into the series. He started off really hot and he was really doing it there for a while. top fives, top threes, picking up a victory down the stretch there. But I just seen in the last 2 weeks he's kind of struggled to kind of maintain that top pack position there. We've seen him drop down into the finishing the top 10, and then last week he broke his streak, finishing outside of the top 10, finishing 12th. So I just want to see him kind of bounce back this week, maybe get a top 5 or top 10, kind of solidify his top of the position there. And now I look like I'm in the grudge. So don't watch any videotapes with me because you can't see me anymore here in the gray. But I mean, if you can hear me coming through this fog, I just want to give my shout out to Nathan Maurer. Because Nathan Maurer, if he can I want to see that consistency out of him that we saw at the beginning of the season.
Now, I will say that he's been very quiet this season. And last year he was coming through with a vengeance at the end of that season. Ended up missing one race there at the end, and it ultimately took him out of the championship. Who ended up winning was Bob Gianquinto, who we've not seen here this season. So the defending champion is not running. So we're going to crown a new champion here this year.
Yeah, I'm excited to see who it could be. And it's been a different winner every week in this series. And that's one of the things that I really love and appreciate about this Max Graphix Superspeedway here, brought to you live by 10-4 Broadcasting. Because in the real Cup Series, I don't know about you, just in my opinion, I kind of get tired of watching the same teams and the same guys win every week. I was almost disappointed to see Byron win last week because it was like, oh man, here another Hendrick car, another car up there in the top
You
three.
Mean
Bowman? And Kyle Busch, he was trying to push everybody to try to get that victory, but I like this series because we see a different winner every week, and I'm excited to see who's going to take that championship because, like I said, either one or two wins could get it for you.
Yep, and this series is so competitive, and these guys put everything on the line, week in and week out. It's just this season. I mean, actually, let me leave the points really quick again. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4. Every single week has been a different winner. We've not had a two-time winner this season yet.
We have not, and I'm excited to see who that winner could be here tonight at Daytona Legacy. We're going to get to that action once we get through these technical difficulties. We do appreciate everybody sticking with us, and we will get that going for you. I know I was in the Matrix there for a little bit, Tim, and picked up some new wardrobes while I was there, so I'm excited about this race here tonight and see who's going to pick up this victory in the Max Graphix Superspeedway Series. These are featuring the National Sim Racing Association drivers, and Tim, this is going to be quite a race here tonight, slipping and sliding.
And if you want to go ahead, Will, and shout out to all of our sponsors while we're taking this time to get things ready. We're very close.
Yeah, of course. A big shout out to our title sponsor there, Max Graphix. Go check them out, man. I've seen some awesome designs from Max Graphix for a lot of cool things. Not only just iRacing things, but just decals and customization things that you might need. Go hit them up. They do some awesome work over there at Max Graphix. Easy to find them on Facebook. Just search Max Graphix. They'll pop right up on there. Go hit up Brookstone Animal Hospital as well. I know all of us have some kind of pet or some kind of furry friend or something that we love to take care of. Maybe get their nails clipped, anything like that. Go check out Brookstone Animal Hospital. They'll get your pets right and everything like that. Couldn't find them on Facebook, but I'm sure you could find them on Google. Give them a call. All that good stuff. Also, can't forget about Taz Racing Customs. I mean, that's another big one that I can't forget about. They do, if Max Graphix customizes cool stuff, Taz Racing Customs will build you a customized die-cast racing car for you. Know what? I mean, I can't think any better than that.
Speaking of Taz Racing Taz Racing Customs, I think we need to get that 10-4 broadcasting car made and put on one of those babies.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna have to look into that one.
Super sweet. Oh man, I still have boxes of old school die casts from the years of collecting those, going to races and getting a die cast on the trailer, and oh man, those are super cool.
Those were the days.
they were the days, the old school days, the good old days.
Yeah.
But, I can't forget, as everybody is waiting for us to go live here as we're fighting through these technical difficulties.
I love the internet.
You do have time to go check out Beer Street Journal and figure out which beer you should be drinking here tonight watching this race. I think last week it was an awesome whiskey that you had mentioned, so I'm sure everybody went and tried out that smooth whiskey.
Actually, let's let me pull that up really quick. Let's see what they've got in store here tonight. Looks like latest release is a Heavy Cloud Hazy IPA from Mother Earth. Looks like it came out last week, and on Tuesday, the 22nd at 2:22. that was a funny day. There was a totally tubular beer, peach flavor. Interesting choice of flavor there.
Peach is a funny one, and getting through these technical difficulties, go check out
Almost
Beer
there.
Street Journal of Peach Beer. I don't know about that, Tim, but we're excited
I'll
to have
pass.
everybody tuning in here tonight.
Looks like the guys are on lap 10 right now. Just looking at in the chat. Oh, I hear engines. We're getting there. Let's make sure that we are where we need to be. I do apologize. So let's see if these. There we go. Got some racing.
We do have some racing, everybody. We do appreciate everybody for sticking in there with us. We're about 11 laps into this race. We'll get you right into the action here, Tim. Man, we are 11 laps into this Graphix Superspeedway race here. Brought to you by 10-4 Broadcasting. We are live on the air here now. You guys get to see actual cars on the track. You don't get to see our faces anymore, unfortunately. The Matrix was fun. I even got to go to the garage area for a little bit. That was fun as well, Tim. But I am at Daytona Legacy Track, and we are in the action.
Right now, it's skipping a little bit, but it's loading all the custom cars that these guys are running. Looks like Mashburn's got a little damage there on the back part of that car. Unfortunately, we don't know what happened there. And last week's winner, look who is out front right now.
Yeah, Chris Brown. He was a very interesting conversation we had with him on our Countdown to Green. He's actually a veteran in real life and a veteran on iRacing series. He's been about 5-6 years into this series. He races in some other leagues, and he recently, just a couple of years ago, became a car lead for a sprint car team in real life. So, very interesting conversation there.
Wow, that, I'm going to have to go back and try to listen to that because that actually sounds really interesting.
Maybe read the closed captions. We had some audio difficulties, but
we'll work on that together for next week.
Oh yeah. Hopefully we'll have Chris Darling said he'll make an appearance next week, so that'd be awesome to have the commissioner on.
Yeah, and these guys, looks like they've had one caution so far. So I'm not sure who was involved. It doesn't show me any of that. But right now, well, it looks like Martin Plute would have been one of those involved, missing the whole backside of that car.
And speaking of Chris Darling, he is our race leader, 13 laps into the 60-lap shootout here at Daytona Legacy. As we are digging down into 3 and 4 here, we have some people in the chat. We do appreciate everybody for sticking with us and watching the broadcast along with us here tonight. We had some technical difficulties there, but we are back in the action as Chris Darling is leading the way here. Don't mean to name drop him, but he did say he'll make an appearance on our Countdown to Green show next week. But he is leading the field here. And Tim, he was the name that you mentioned before we came on the air here, or actually we were on the air waiting for the race to start here. To keep an eye on out here for tonight.
Yeah, he always has a strong showing, and it would be, if Chris Darling was to be able to pull off a win here tonight, he would be, once again, a first-time winner this season in this series. So it's very exciting that it's so competitive this year that things have kind of like changed. Last year we had winners multiple times, but this year it's anybody's game.
It really is, as Chris Darling was leading him down the backstretch there. And those backstretch stands are still there. And actually we're on the front stretch, but I do remember the backstretch stands still being at Daytona, so I'm curious to see if they put them in here in the game. We do look like we have a lead change going down into 1.
And Jason Shue in that number 3 is going to take that bottom lane with the number 74 of Jeff McCarter right behind him, but not there enough to push. Kind of getting things lined up there on that inside lane as they're coming together. And Shu's going to go back to that outside lane.
So then Chris Darling leading into 3. Coming around 4 here is still him single file, and it looks like his buddy, his best friend, Ben Mashburn, is right behind him. They have done extreme karate in the garage. They have gotten their samurai swords signed by Randy Jackson. They are ready to rock and roll in this race. They hold it down every race we have here at the Graphix Superspeedway series, and they are back at it again.
You see, these guys are pretty calm right now as we're on lap 15 of 60 here tonight at Daytona International Speedway. And there's those back grandstands that you talked about.
And that was so cool to be able to sit back there for our 25th anniversary of the Whitcomb Racing victory there at the 1990 Daytona 500. But it is still Chris Darling, your race leader, coming around 4 with Ben Mashburn right on his back bumper there. Yeah, Tim, there was actually the last year they had those back grandstands, and I remember, it's like a visual picture in my mind. I could see Joey Logano leading the field around 4, and he picked up the Daytona 500 victory there, and that was a pretty cool sight to see everybody stacked up going down 3. But
That's awesome.
Is Chris. Yeah, it was a shame they tore him down because now they just have the front stretch stands, and we didn't even do the front stretch. We just came in the backside, and that was good to go.
Looks like Jason Shu's got some damage on that right front. Because I was wondering why he wasn't able to leave that inside lane. And now I can see why. Because you got damage here at Daytona on the front end like that, it almost becomes like a parachute. So you got to have a clean car here if you want to be able to leave this thing. And it looks like Christopher Darling right now has a very clean car. Doesn't look like he's having the same. Yeah, there's nothing on the front of that baby.
It's still Chris Darling is your race leader still in this Graphix Superspeedway race here. We are 18 laps in of 60, and he's still leading the way there, single file here, Tim. We see this a little bit out of the Graphix Superspeedway series. These drivers out of the National Sim Racing Association, they tend to keep it clean there for a while, but you'll start seeing that if we had those Fitbits on these drivers, you'll see that heart rate starting to pick up, the pace starting to pick up a little bit as they realize that they are running out of laps to make these moves.
And one thing I want to point out too, some of these guys, I'm not seeing hardcore working together right now. Typically you'll see some hard bump drafting, so on and so forth. You got Nathan dropping the inside. I don't know if you noticed, but last lap he passed 2 cars to get up to 4th place, and now he's going to the inside all by himself to make this move happen. And now he's got everybody dropping down low to get right behind him.
That is a big move there on the inside by Nathan Moyer as they're coming down the front stretch here. He is a driver that I talked about when this broadcast started. He needs to show a little bit more consistency there down the backstretch. See, I'm confused at this Daytona legacy here, but that is okay. I am not confused with the speed that Nathan Moyer is showing on that bottom line there. As you see that front car, 3-car tandem coming around 4 here, trying to pull away a little bit from him on that bottom line, but I think once he gets some buddies down there on that bottom line, he's shifting back up. That might be a better move there for him right now.
It's difficult with this legacy track. Back before the pave, even after the pave, but iRacing for some reason on this pavement, that outside lane is so good. It is so difficult to get a good group of guys on that inside lane. As you can see here, Moyer's pulling right up next to Darling this time, bringing that number 39 of Ward, who, shout out to him. I hope he put enough gas in that baby this week, because last week he ran out of gas. Really good showing by that inside lane now. They're sticking right there with them, about 5 guys back there on that inside lane, only 4 to the outside, and that's going to pose a problem if Nathan can clear them from that inside lane. We'll see what he can do.
Like I said, Nathan, once he got some partners behind him as they're coming around 2 down onto this backstretch here, Nathan Moyer I really need to see that consistency out of him here tonight. And he is showing it, Tim. He is now our race leader coming down the backstretch. He has some fans right behind him down the backstretch here. Still a lot of speed out of Chris Darling on that outside lane there.
And that's going to mess up the whole momentum of that inside lane. I'm not sure what happened with the number 2 of White and the 39 of Ward. Looks like they may have made contact a little bit there, and that's what broke them up, because now the momentum's going to shift back to that outside lane.
And you'll see that give and take, Tim. You'll see that as they're coming down into the corner here. It's like 3 coming around into 4. Still Chris Darling is your race leader. Ben Mashburn is right behind him on that back bumper. They are best friends. You won't see anything outside of those guys, Tim. As Nathan Moyer is digging on that inside lane there to try to take this lead from Chris Darling. As they're coming around into 3, it's still Nathan Moyer on that inside lane there. Chris Darling up on the top is your race leader. It is Chris Darling, Ben Mashburn, and then Nathan Moyer is fighting for that 3rd position, but he is coming with a lot of speed on that inside lane there, coming around onto that front stretch.
And now coming down the front stretch for coming to lap 23 here at Daytona. That inside lane is finally forming back up together. White is now transitioned to the outside lane to help those Max Graphix teammates on that outside lane. But don't look back, because that inside lane being led by that Simbox number 971, along with his teammate Doug Neal back there, 4th car back. They're going to bring those Simbox cars up here for a challenge by the end of this one.
And you're already seeing a challenge out of Nathan Moyer on that inside lane. He is digging, he is pushing, he is trying to make that move. Oh, as you see Ben Mashburn kind of think about making a pass there on the corner, but he doesn't want to wreck his best buddy in Chris Darling, still on the lead. As they're coming around the corner here, they're still battling it out, Tim.
Yeah, but unfortunately that 95 dipped out on that inside lane, went back to the outside, and once again you just see the momentum shift here again, and you see they're catching lap traffic of Martin Plute in that number 4. Currently still on the lead lap, but we'll see what happens once they catch him and go around. He lost a lot of power. He's trying to hold off and not use that fast repair yet.
Right, and I was just about to ask you, Tim, one of the big things that we saw last week, as it's still Chris Darling.
Oh!
Track! Oh no! It takes out the middle pack drivers there. Oh no! What a!
I don't believe that was Plute's fault at all. We're going to go back and take a look, but
man, we have our second caution.
First reaction, I'm going to give a take here. I'll give a Hammond fast take. It looked like the 40 or the 39 of Ward just got kind of I don't know. It kind of looked like he pinched him in a way. He came down too fast to get around him. But we're going to go back and we're going to take a look and see what exactly happened here, because this is, whew. And this is, being Martin Plute, this is something you don't want to run into, because then guys kind of start looking at you like, oh, you know, what's going on here? But we're going to take a good look here. Get a little bit of a slow. Okay, we're going into turn 4 right here, coming down the backstretch, and we're going to slow-mo it here. Okay, see the 971 going to the outside, 39 going to the outside, and this is right where I'm going to stop it. And now we're going to go to a rear chase. Now you see, Plute is all the way down to that yellow line. Really not much else he can do here. Play it. The 39 just comes down right into the number 4, collects the 2, collects the 95. Looks like Doug Neal does make it through. 74 gets involved. The 6 gets involved. So we're going to actually go back and give another angle of this real quick, and then we're going to call somebody in here to talk to them. We'll probably talk to Martin to see what happened. But I want to go back, and we're going to ride on board with that number 39 of Shane Ward to kind of see what happened here.
Was Martin riding a lap down there, or was
he was going a lap down?
Going a lap down. And this replay is brought to you by 10-4 Broadcasting. Check us out on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. As we're riding along with Shane Ward here, Tim.
You know, and in Shane Ward's defense, I'm going to say this after riding the onboard. That bump coming into turn 3 and 4 plays a role in where that car's going to go. And I think that he just hit it a little wrong. Not by his doing, not his fault, but unfortunately it just kind of took him right down into that situation. So we're going to we're going to pull down. We'll pull down. Oh, he's not in here. I was going to pull down. Oh, Ward is in here. Okay, one second. Hey, Shane, Tim, and Will up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, yeah, what's up?
Hey, man. So kind of take us through what happened there. It kind of looked like after watching the replay, unfortunately, that bump going into 3 and 4 just kind of shot you down into that lap traffic in a way.
Well, the 4 was down on the inside there, and I was just following the 971, and I was actually watching the replay myself, and I maybe didn't give the guy on the inside enough room and kind of caused that kerfuffle. Hindsight, I probably should have backed off, waited till the straightaway, and then kind of dealt with it then. But I thought we were going to be able to do it, but I messed up. I'll take the blame for that one.
You know, it's part of racing the old style Daytona. You know, there's a lot of bumps and grooves that kind of throw the car for a loop. And I really feel like that's what happened there, and no fault of you nor him. You both were just trying to make it through to the next lap, pretty much.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
You know,
I mean, like, definitely not his fault at all. I mean, he was doing what he could, staying on the inside as much as he could. With this track, usually we're going all around the high side, anyways. So
right.
for him, he was in the right spot. I might have not have given him enough space in that situation. Trying to make it 3 wide. Hindsight, I should have just backed off, waited, gone through the corner, and then passed him then.
But
I know what you mean.
39 car looks good out there tonight. What's it going to take for you to bring home that car to victory lane?
Basically, try to stay out of trouble now since I had to use my fast repair. Take it patient. Be patient right now.
And I think does it got you scored a lap down? That's what I'm trying to look at.
Yeah, I was. That's because I was looking at the replay, watching the replay.
Oh, gotcha.
So I
right,
wanted to make sure that before I said anything to anybody else, I want to make sure like whose fault it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's good. Well, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I just want to give a shout out to my teammates, Threat Level Midnight here. Unfortunately, they're not here anymore, but they're still with me in spirit.
Awesome. Well, good luck the rest of the night, Shane.
Thanks, man.
And that was Shane Ward. Green flag is back in the air. Mix up in all the stand. Right now, Joshua is your leader in that number 9. Andrew Jessen is second in that number 4 or 26. Well, on screen it's 6, but his number shows me 26. So, custom paint job. He's driving that number 6 car on that inside lane. And just like that, Chris Darling back to the lead.
And it's not anything different than what we're not used to, Tim, as he's coming around. I believe that is 3 still with his best buddy Ben Mashburn right behind him. It has been the story the entire race. It's been the story really of this Max Graphix Superspeedway series season here of Chris Darling and Ben Mashburn. It has been the Chris Darling Ben Mashburn show almost every race. But like you mentioned in the as we were waiting for the stream to come on there, Tim, Chris hasn't picked up a win yet in this series. Maybe tonight is the night for Chris Darling.
Yeah, he's looking really good in that outside lane, running exactly where I'd want to be. And trying to take a look at Martin Ploop still shown a lap down, but this time he used his fast repair down pit road. So he's up there with the leaders, and he's actually battling with Shane Ward for the lucky dog pass right now. So Shane Ward in that number 39. Looks like Ploop might have gotten into the wall a little bit there. Just trying to see the right side of his car. He looks like he's all right.
You should be fine, Tim. If he links right up with those guys there in that group, he should be line, and that group is led by Chris Darling coming around the corner with Ben Mashburn right behind him. I believe that is
Doug Neal.
Doug Neal right there with them, and then Martin Plute is that fourth car in that tandem, and they are really just pulling away from the rest of the field. We're going to have about a 4-car race here coming down into 3. We're going to be about, we're already halfway through this Graphix Superspeedway series here. This is week 7 in this series. Nathan Maurer is your halfway point season champion, I guess you could say, as Chris Darling is still leading the way, still leading the pack here as they're going to cross the line here with 31 laps to go in the Graphix Superspeedway series.
And these guys are just racking down the laps down there. Here comes down Doug Neal to get in front of his teammate.
And he's got big help right behind him in Nathan Maurer. We'll see if they'll link up to push him up to the lead to see if they can work that tandem. They are rocking, almost matching, identical paint jobs coming down the backstretch here. Nathan Maurer really wants that speed with Doug Neal. Try to get that victory, try to solidify his spot at the top of the table. But Chris Darling and Ben Mashburn are still your race leaders as they're coming around 3 into 4. It is still those two leading the way here. And you see Martin Pluth up there as well, Tim. He is going to be their, I guess you could say, the third leg to their tripod, I suppose.
And now, look at that inside lane. Big push coming down through the tri-oval, heading off into turn 1. And now that inside lane is starting to really look good with those two teammates running up front.
Hey, Tim, do you think we could spoil the viewers with an in-car camera of Nathan Maurer just to see the wheel work of him right now? We're right along board with Nathan. Ooh, man, that was a big move right as we cut to him. He must have known.
Got a little loose on the exit there. Had to let up off his teammate. You see that outside lane training around him on that inside or outside lane. But that inside starting to fight back again as they get linked back up to full speed.
Tim, what I'm excited about is that wheel movement. Look at his hands on the simulator. I can only imagine what it's like on his wheel in real life. He is bouncing back and forth on that wheel. He is trying to figure out that right line, trying to stay on that outside to make sure he doesn't have any cars to his right side. He's still trying to work with Doug Neal, trying to take that lead as we are digging down into 1 and 2 here. You're seeing Nathan Maurer in-car camera here, brought to you by 10-4 Broadcast. Oh, we're seeing big moves out of him. He has so much speed coming around those corners, Tim.
Man, and that's for anyone who doesn't have iRacing or has never touched iRacing. All these drivers have wheels on their rig that you feel all these bumps. You feel your car hop loose out of the back end. You can feel every single one of those bounces right here. Every time you hit one, you feel it in that steering wheel.
The boys are feeling it here tonight, Tim. We have only had 2 cautions in this 60-lap shootout. They are feeling themselves. They are feeling confident. They want to take home that victory tonight. And I know Chris Darling really wants that victory, but you are seeing a lot of speed out of those Simbox racing cars there on the inside, led by Doug Neal and Nathan Maurer. They are trying to take that lead away from the big dogs, if you will. Bring the dogs back. But Chris Darling and Ben Mashburn are still your race leaders coming around 4 here with Doug Clute just slightly behind them. But we are seeing a lot of speed from the inside lane there out of the Simbox racing cars. Doug Neal and Nathan Maurer, they are a 2-car tandem there. They are really fighting for that lead, Tim.
Yeah, and that number 9 and 39 is going to have to get up on the back bumper of those guys if they're going to want to even be able to get around these guys on that outside lane. Oh, the 9 just... the 9 of Joshua, he's just doesn't look like he's got a lot of speed. Maybe he's, kind of saving it. Doesn't want to show everybody what he's got yet. But he's going to have to be up there right on that back bumper, just like Doug Neal is, or Nathan is to Doug Neal. If they're going to, 9's kind of drifting up. 971 drifting up. It's difficult. Turn 4 is very difficult in this Legacy Daytona.
As they come across the line here, it looks like we're 35 to go, Tim. Am I reading that right? Or 25 to go?
25
to go here in the Graphix Superspeedway series here. I was going to ask you, Tim, if you're Nathan Maurer, how long do you work as you see Doug Neal slightly take the lead from Chris Darling as they're coming down the backstretch here? How long do you wait? I know you want to work with Doug Neal. You want to be a great teammate. You want to see if he can get his first victory of the year. But do you make a move? Do you try to take that lead, or do you just kind of wait it out?
You know, these two as a teammate, the 78 and the 971, I believe Nathan would be just as happy with Doug Neal winning as he would be winning himself.
Right.
These two guys, if there's anybody in this field that I want to be on that team, it's that team right there. Those guys are so quiet and so humble when it comes time to win that it's just, it's nice to see.
It really is. And talking about sights to see, Tim, it looks like we have a new race. Oh, just for a brief second there, though. They had a lot of speed out of those Simbox racing cars as Doug Neal briefly took the lead away from Chris Darling. But really, Tim, it is a 4-car really drag race right now between Simbox Racing and Max Graphix Racing. It's Ben Mashburn, Chris Darling, Nathan Maurer, and Doug Neal, about a 4-car race there at the top.
You know, I'm getting really worried about that 9 car. He's pushing a lot in the center of the corner. Not his doing. There's just a lot of air moving around. But my concern is iRacing likes to have this netcode problem. So he could get too close to one of these cars and ultimately... Oh, no!
No, as you see Doug Neal get taken out, hits the inside wall of the backstretch here. Oh no, Tim.
Not sure what happened there, but oh man, no caution. It's a single car spin, so no caution is going to be thrown here. And the ones contending for the win. I don't know if anybody's going to have anything for Max Graphix team now.
This might be the Max Graphix show as they're coming around the corner here. It's still Chris Darling.
Oh, but here comes the number 9.
As you were just mentioning just a second ago, he wants that lead there, Tim. It looks like he's going to have some help too. Maybe they saw something in that inside lane, and Simbox Racing kind of laid out the way to go there.
We're going to go to replay because I really... I really want to see what happened to Doug Neal because they were so good up front. We're going to take a look at this from a couple different perspectives here. First one's going to be the onboard of Nate. We'll see what happens here. They're coming up on a lap car. He comes to the inside. Oh, he just gets into the quarter panel a little too much.
And you kind of saw it leading up to that, Tim. It was no fault of Nathan or his teammate there, but you really saw Nathan kind of really jerky on the wheel. He just had a lot of speed coming out of the corners, and unfortunately, it's your teammate. Maybe the conversation's not as hard if it wasn't your teammate, but still unfortunate. Really thought that those boys had something for them, and they did. But, we only got about less than 20 laps to go here.
Another quick look.
Be the Max Graphix show here tonight.
Unfortunately for Doug Neal, it takes him all the way to the inside. Smashes that inside wall. He is now on pit road. But back here up at the lead, the number 9 car of Joshua. Letting him know he's come out here to win this race tonight.
I'm saying, Tim, is this another newcomer for us? Is this another driver making his season debut?
I think it might be, actually. I don't recall that name. Andrew looks new. Jeff McCarter. Quite a few new guys in here. Garrett Austin. I could be wrong. It doesn't look like he took the green. Oh,
what's happening up at the top, Tim? Are we making pit stops?
Pit stops.
There we go.
Oh, these guys getting slowed up. If not, you'll be coming back through for a penalty.
And Tim, I love asking these questions to iRacers like yourself. I know the viewers can't see an actual pit crew jump all over the wall and work on the car and all that good stuff, but how strategic and how much thinking goes into these actual virtual pit stops?
Quite a lot, because if you look right now, we got 19 to go. So you're thinking, do I have any tire wear? Do I just need gas? How much gas? Can I gas and go? You got to get back out there as fast as possible. And something else that we have to note in this situation: who's coming down pit road with me? Because if you're coming down pit road alone, your race is over. You might as well kiss it goodbye, retire. It's over. Unless there's a caution, you're not catching back up to those leaders, because when you pit with multiple people, all of you are in the same sync. All of you come back out, get back up to speed, and you need that draft to get back up to speed. Without that, it's nothing.
Right, and as you were talking about that, Tim, you see Martin Bluth, he decided to stay out, and he was the third car in that tandem between Ben Mashburn and Chris Darling. He is staying out with this field here. He is running some more laps, and so he's going to have to pit at some point, Tim, with less than 18 to go here.
And I think the reason why Martin stayed out is because he's still a lap down. So he's waiting for a caution to bring him back to the lead lap. And now it looks like Joshua's going to come in virtually by himself. He's got Jeff back there, but the distance is so far from each other, it's going to be hard for them to draft together. So now Chris Darling is your leader, because the 39 and the 4 were a lap down. They're now on the lead lap, because they have not went down pit road yet. Chris Darling is going to be your current leader once they get around these guys down the front stretch that are still on pit road.
Chris Darling has really thrown the gauntlet down here tonight, Tim.
And
he
there they are.
wants that first victory. He wants to take home that prize here tonight. There's no prize, but it's just a lot of bragging rights that goes in this Max Graphix Superspeedway series here tonight. He must have been practicing, Tim, because I tried to get him on our Countdown to Green show on 10-4 Broadcasting, but he wanted a rain check for next week, so maybe he was putting in that extra work, that extra track time to get that victory here tonight, get his first victory of the season, and start solidifying those championship points there towards the end of the season.
Hey, that sounds like what he was doing to me.
Must have been. He is a man of many talents. He is the commissioner, the administrator of the National Sim Racing Association, so he is all over the place. But one place he has not been, and that is in second place. He has been leading this race all race long with less than 16 laps to go here at Daytona Legacy in the Max Graphix Superspeedway Series. It has been the Max Graphix Show. Again, I know this might seem like deja vu if you have tuned into other broadcasts we have. Trust me, this is not last week's race or the week before. This is Daytona Legacy Week 7, and you are seeing the same thing as you were seeing previous weeks of Chris Darling and Ben Mashburn. I guess you could almost call it like a Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. I don't know any other great comparisons we can make, Tim, but
Hendrick
they have just
Motorsports.
been that tandem.
Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson.
There you go.
DEI, Dale Earnhardt Jr., well, Dale Earnhardt wasn't DEI, but you know what I mean.
But even out of Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson, you saw every now and then a little bit of rivalry, a little bit of steaminess coming out of those two drivers, but you never really see it out of the Max Graphix racing team.
But,
They
that's
are
going to
content running one,
happen. My thought process on that is, Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson were so competitive, and they were both wanted to win. Jeff Gordon was the best, well, one of the best, and then he brings along Jimmy Johnson. It's making him money. He's still getting paid because he owns that car. But you got to think your competitive side steps in at some point and goes, nah, I want to be winning that.
You might see it here tonight as Ben Mashburn is creeping up on his teammate. He might sneak a move in here. We're going to be less than 14 laps to go. Next time across the line here, we're coming down the front stretch. It is still Chris Darling, your race leader. He has virtually led almost every lap in this race here, Tim, and it is basically just a 3-car race. Looks like the rest of the field has dropped off considerably.
And here's a statistic we talked about last week with Christopher Darling. The past 6 weeks, 1 top 5. 1. That is not normal for Darling. I'll tell you that. And right now, if we're looking at points, he is 58 points away from the leader. or I think 58. Yeah, 58 points away. He's only 3 points away from his teammate of Ben Mashburn, who's right behind him. So those guys are neck and neck in 9th and 10th. Mashburn last week moved up 2 spots in the point standings after Talladega. So Mashburn is on the way up. I'm trying to see who else. I was trying to find our last week's winner, Chris Brown, with his first win of the season, first race of the season. Out of 36 drivers, that puts him in 23rd position in the points.
And that was really an interesting conversation I had with Chris in our Countdown to Green show. Unfortunately, with the audio issues, he is a veteran of the iRacing series here, not the Graphix Superspeedway series, but he is about 5-6 years into iRacing. So he is a guy coming in with a lot of experience in iRacing. So we are glad to have him here at the National Sim Racing Association and in the Graphix Superspeedway series. He is running currently 4th right now, P4. Still a great showing. If you can get a victory and then a P4, but he is, I don't know if he can get that speed to creep up to them, Tim, but he is that 4th car behind this 3-car tandem here.
You know, it's going to be difficult. You're going to be well. Here's what could happen. Okay, Mashburn can make a move. You know, Mashburn's not just going to let Christopher Darling win this thing. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's going to make a move to where he could win as well. He's not going to take his teammate out. He's not going to wreck him. He's not going to do anything shady. But he's still going to make it, hey, you know, I'm here too, Chris. I'm going to make this as competitive as possible. And when that happens, where Shu decides to go is going to determine if he could slingshot around both of them and take that victory.
And he is waiting his time there. And I did see a few laps ago a really cool sign of teamwork out of Ben Mashburn as they are digging down into 3 going around 4 here. You saw him with a lot of speed, and you saw him knowing that he could pass his teammate with Chris Darling, but reluctantly he let off and filed right back behind Chris, even though he had the momentum and the speed to pass him. So you are really seeing some synchronized teammates here at the top of the field as they are coming across. I believe this is 1 and 2 here. Chris Darling still your race leader here. Ben Mashburn is in 2nd. It is Shu in 3rd, and then I believe that is a lapped car behind them.
Yes.
And then it is our newcomer in Brown in 4th.
Isaac
but it
Singleton.
Has been the Max Isaac Singleton in 4th. Hey, good for him. Is that the
he's a
lap
down car. He's a lap down. Sorry.
Gotcha.
I was just saying that.
No problem, Tim. No.
You know, now, you know, we just had that discussion about Shu and what could happen. Singleton could push Shu to a victory here as a lap down car.
We are less than 9 to go here. Tim is starting to get hot up in here. Cue the Nelly, because Chris Darling is still your race leader, digging down into 1, and Ben Mashburn is right behind him. We'll see if we'll be best friends at the Catalina wine mixer at the end of this. I don't know who is going to be the winner, but it is going to come down to 3 cars here. It is going to be Ben Mashburn, Chris Darling, and Shu in that 3rd position there, rocking that number 3 in the P3 position, coming down the backstretch here into 3. We are less than 8 laps to go here at the Graphix Superspeedway race here at Daytona Legacy. It is time to grab them brewskis, because we are in for the 8 to go. Cue them Budweisers. It is Chris Darling is your race leader, coming down the backstretch here with Ben Mashburn right behind him. It has been the Graphix show again here tonight, folks. No deja vu, no WandaVision around here. This has been the same story most of the season, but as Tim has mentioned during this broadcast, Chris has no victories on this season, so that is unlike what we see out of these heavyweights in this series, but it is looking like he may get that first victory here tonight, Tim. less than 7 laps to go.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Tim.
7 to go here, Will. And, something we forgot to do earlier in this broadcast was to, talk about who we thought. This is something we're going to have to make sure we do next week. Who we thought was going to bring home the trophy. And this has been a very clean race. We've had 2 cautions. And then the incident with Doug Neal and Nathan, those teammates, with Nathan working his way back up to 7th. It looks like, he's in a pack right here.
What action in that backpack, Tim?
Yeah, that's kind of concerning. It's kind of concerning for the leaders, because if something happens with these guys, yeah.
We are about to be less than 5 laps to go. That is an excellent point, Tim. These boys are racing choppy there in the back. It could cause a caution, which these leaders up at the front do not want to see at all. It's still Chris Sterling and Ben Mashburn from the Max Graphix Racing team are still your race leaders as they are digging down into 3 and 4 here, folks. The next time across this line, we'll have less than 5 laps to go here at Daytona Legacy.
And it kind of, it seems like, he's backing up to the bumper of the 3. Mashburn keeps letting off a little bit more, getting space between him and Darling. Maybe he's trying to see how fast his car will suck up to the back of that number 11 and make that shot around him. But I'm really interested to see how this is going to play out in the end.
It is quite a story to see. It may not be a happy ending, but it might be happy for this race leader here. Chris Darling, he may pick up his first victory here in the Max Graphix Superspeedway Series. It's taken him a minute, Tim. We are 7 weeks through this series here, but hey, anything can happen.
Yeah, next week I believe we're back at iRacing Superspeedway. Let me take a quick look. Yep, iRacing Superspeedway, March 16th. Race number 8 will be in the books next week. Make sure you are around for that one. It's this season is winding down fast. Feels like we just started.
It really does, Tim, and it is because these Max Graphix racing cars have led the way. They race a clean race. They lead these packs. This has been about 4 or 5 weeks straight here, Tim, watching this Max Graphix racing show here. But I don't know, Tim. We got 4 laps to go here. Are they going to be able to take this win?
I think one of them is, but we got a little secret sauce in this front 3. And that number 3 is going to be hungry.
I'm getting excited for that 3 car in Shoe, because he keeps trying. He keeps looking. He keeps seeing around that bumper. He keeps looking for his hole with less than 3 laps to go here. Digging down into the corner. It's still Chris Darling, who's your race leader, with Ben Mashburn right behind him in Shoe in that 3 car. He wants to put that 3 car in victory lane at Daytona Legacy. What a story that would be, Tim. Coming down the backstretch, it is still Chris Darling and Ben Mashburn.
Only 2.5 laps to go. As long as there's no caution, it's going to be a 3. I don't know how I feel. The number 3 car is in the best position out of both of these guys, or all of these guys, because if anything happens with this front 2, he can capitalize and take home a win here tonight.
We're going to have less than 2 laps to go. Tim, man, this race has flown by. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. I know we had some technical difficulties to start this broadcast off, but we do appreciate everybody for sticking with us as we see Chris Darling still leading the way, digging down into 1 and 2 here. It is his best friend, his karate partner in P2 right behind him, and his Shoe in that number 3 car in that P3 position. As you see, Shoe getting a lot of speed coming off of 2.
I think he's trying to get Singleton to work with him here, but Singleton's just not sucking up to the back of them. You see some distance here. This is going to give that 3 car a nice slingshot around these guys if he can get up there. You see him, the distance coming down. Oh, Mashburn kind of looking to the inside. Oh, Mashburn looking to the outside. White flag is in the air. It's the Beer Street Journal's last call.
It surely is, Tim, and this is time to go. It is high octane, high energy time right here as Chris Darling leads them down into 1 and 2 here. Ben Mastron right behind him. Shu in that third position in the 3 car. Coming down in the backstretch here is still Chris Darling is your race leader. Ben Mashburn right on that back bumper. He is trying, he is pushing, he is taking the paint off that back bumper as Shu in that third position is trying to find that hole.
And, you know, these guys are full on pedal to the metal. Who cares if gas is almost $5 a gallon? We're going all out. Mashburn to the inside.
Mashburn goes up to the door. And Shu right back.
Oh, there goes Mashburn. Shu goes to the inside.
Who's going to be your race winner?
It's going to be Shu. Oh, and he...
Man.
What a finish. Chris Darling knew that he wasn't... Oh, there goes the cone. Knew that he wasn't going to be able to take home the win, so gives the 3 a little tap here at the finish line. Brings home that win. Jason Shu, Chris Darling second, Ben Mashburn third, Chris Brown coming home in third. Big battle there for... fourth. Andrew Jessen coming home in fifth. Joshua coming along right in front of the 971 points leader, coming home in sixth. Seventh is Nate. Eighth is Jeff McCarter. Isaac Singleton coming home in ninth. Martin Plute coming home in 10th. Shane Ward 11th. Doug Neal 12th. And Justin White in 13th.
Man. That finish had me jumping up and down, Tim. I don't know about you, but woof, what a finish out of this Graphix Superspeedway series here, Tim. It is every week out of these drivers. We have these photo finishes, these wrecks right at the end of the line there. Man, what a race. Wow. And that, Tim, the streak continues there, man. It is a first-time winner again here in this Graphix Superspeedway series. We have had a different winner in every race so far this season, man. It's going to be quite a tight race for the championship.
Yeah, and it's just so great to see another new winner. As I'm going to let you take over the interviews. I'm going to bring in Ben Mashburn for you.
Hey, we're catching up with Ben Mashburn on pit road here. Ben, you're coming home P3 in tonight's race, man. It looked like your karate partner, your best friend there, Chris Darling, you two are going to lead the way for victory here. What happened there at the end of the race there?
That's kind of what was going to happen. I think all the way leading up to the end was we were just gonna. That's what we decided on. We just decided to create as big a gap as we could and just duke it out there at the end. And I came out way too soon. That was on me coming out too soon. But he was dragging the brake because he knew exactly what I was doing. I was gonna try to push him out too far and then just shoot around. So he was dragging the brake, and no, you're going.
All right.
It was fun though.
Coming home P3 here tonight. I know it's not the most disappointing finish you can ask for, and I did see some really cool acts of teamwork out of you. Did you feel like you had the speed there, but you kind of wanted to back off to make sure you were a good teammate for Chris?
Somewhat, a little bit of both. I mean, super speedway races are kind of my home. I love super speedways, so if I'm on a super speedway, I automatically kind of feel fast. So it just found Chris's bumper and just kind of rode there the whole race. And anytime I can get behind somebody I feel comfortable with, even with a bumpy track like Daytona like that, it's pretty simple to push and just stay consistent.
So the season's going to restart. I guess we're going to go back to iRacing Superspeedway next weekend or next week. How do you feel towards the end of the season here? Because you've had a different winner every week so far in this season. How do you feel like the season's going to play out for you here towards the end?
I don't really know. If it's at iRacing Superspeedway, probably not well, because I usually don't do well there. I'm more of a Daytona, Talladega type of guy. iRacing Superspeedway and Monza don't seem to treat me too well, but that's all right. We'll have fun with it as always, and that's all this series is, man. It's just here to have fun, drink some whiskey, and let Jack take the wheel, and hope I don't end up in the wall.
That's it. And head over to Beer Street Journal, check out which whiskeys you should be driving or drinking. Ben Mashburn coming home in P3 here tonight. And Ben, before we let you go, anybody you want to shout out? Any of the sponsors or anybody that you had watching here tonight?
See you guys up in the booth, 10-4 Broadcasting do a great job. I appreciate what you guys do. Beer Street Journal, they do a heck of a job. Appreciate everything they do for the league, and we wouldn't be able to do it without them, obviously. So they're a big part. Somewhat shout out to Max Graphics Racing.
Right.
So,
Exactly. Well,
it's fun. It's always fun. It's good teammates. It's always fun getting with Chris on Thursday nights. So we had fun there.
you guys hold it down. That's why I like bringing out the Step Brothers references because you're the new best friends up there at the top. But we appreciate your time and P3 top 3 finish here tonight, man. Congratulations and look forward to next week.
Appreciate it. You guys have a good one.
You too. That was Ben Mashburn coming home P3 here tonight. And Tim, I know you like a little home cooking with him because he runs that number 24 car, but what a good run by him here tonight.
Yeah, it was something these guys needed. Both him and Chris Darling, who we've now got here in the booth with us, both needed a good run here tonight to make up some space between themselves and Nathan coming down to that championship. Chris, kind of take me through this dominating race.
Oh man, it was a fun race. I always like that track. It's I don't know what it is about it, whether it's the bumps or what, but the high line gets going good up there, and I don't know. It's just a really fun track to race at, in my opinion. So I would come here about 8 times a season, but we can't do that unfortunately. I don't know. It was just it was a fun race. Had Ben and Martin behind me most of the race. Was able to keep it up front and avoided trouble on under the first yellow, so that was good. I think I might have been like the only car out of that thing, but just really wanted to focus on staying up front, which I did. So it ended up working out great.
Coming home P2 here tonight, Chris, and man, you were really fighting, really trying for that first victory on the season. Do you think it's going to come soon, or do you think you're just getting the bad luck here at the finishes?
I hope so. I mean, I don't know. So last season, I mean, I think pretty much everything went my way last season in this series. This season, just the races I've been in, I think I missed one race. It just hasn't gone my way. And sometimes it's like that at super speedways, but I don't know. I hope I get a victory lane. Always have a lot of help from the Max Graphics guys, so that's a good thing. But yeah, sometimes it's just not your season in these things, and I don't know. I'm definitely not upset about tonight. That was a great race coming to the line, and I knew it was gonna be like that coming to about, I don't know, 15 to go. We kind of all just made our minds up that with 1 or 2 to go, we were gonna race, and I don't know. I didn't have much I could do there at the end to defend myself out front. I was watching, every single lap down the backstretch. Ben would push me out about 3 or 4 car lengths out in front of the pack, and I knew I was gonna have to do something weird, but he knew what I was gonna do, so it really didn't even matter at the end of the day.
Oh man, and it looks like that's the strategy kind of going into every race between you and Ben there is to link up and lead the field there. Is that something you guys kind of talk about or work throughout the race of getting together and kind of leading that pack?
I mean, I think we're always looking for each other. If we're able to link up, I like having him behind me. He's a good pusher. I mean, anybody who has him behind them is usually going to go towards the front, and you can usually feel pretty safe with him behind you too. He knows when to push and when not to push. But yeah, I mean, I'm always looking for him. So if I can find him on track, you can bet I'm going to try to jump in his lane or get him in my lane somehow. But yeah, I don't know. Man, it's hard racing him at these things because he always knows what I'm gonna do. So I don't know. Jason definitely snuck away with one, but he definitely deserved it. He definitely pulled a good move on both of us there at the end, so that was pretty cool. I'm happy to see him get a win. He's been racing with us for a few seasons now, so it's pretty cool.
Very cool. And we have our 7th different winner here, Chris. And man, you have done an excellent job recruiting these guys into the National Sim Racing Association. To having 7 different winners throughout 7 weeks in this season, man, you must be pretty proud of these drivers and the competitiveness of this series so far.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Happy to see that we got so many different winners. I know the last time I looked at the point standings, they were pretty darn close too, so that's pretty neat. I just gotta give a big shout out to like all our sponsors: Beer Street Journal, Stay Tuned Sports, Taz Racing Customs, Max Graphics, of course. But I don't know, everybody that helps make the league go on. I think we only had like 14 cars tonight, but it was a fun time. We're definitely always looking for new drivers who can race, respectively, and still be competitive at the same time and have a good time. So I don't know. We'll move on next week. I'll try to get one. We'll see if I can get one before the end of the season. It's kind of winding down here soon, though.
There you go. The championship window's still there for you. And go ahead, Tim.
I was just gonna pop in and say, currently, 10-4 Broadcasting is taking bets on which race Christopher Darling will win. We're releasing odds for that tonight.
Oh man, well, I listen. I don't want to sound cocky, but I do like my chances of always being near the front in these things. It's just a matter of
I do
trying
too.
yeah, it's just a matter of trying to stay out of trouble. Find the right guys that are going to be safe pushing you and being pushed by you, and I don't know. It just you could say these things take skill, and I guess to a point they do, but I mean, 95% of these tracks is really just about being a little lucky, and staying safe for most of the race and making sure you're there on the last lap, and that just hasn't been able to happen to me so far. So, but I've been up front. It just hasn't all, it
Well,
hasn't all come together.
I'll say this as somebody who races iRacing, loves iRacing, and I'll be cocky for a second. I am very good at Talladega and Daytona. I personally believe that it takes a lot of skill because there are some guys who cannot handle being bumped. There are some guys who cannot bump. So to me, that is an art form in itself. If you can link up with somebody who's very good at either of those things, you're almost set up for success.
Yeah, pretty much. It's nice to know you got good teammates too. So just gotta thank them every week, I guess. And I don't know, I might have to start paying them off just to stay behind me. Man, I knew with like 15 to go, I told Ben, I'm like, hey, we'll go a lot faster if you just stay behind me until after the checkers. But he wasn't taking that. So I don't know.
That's great. Well, Chris, congratulations on the second place finish. Anybody you want to give a shout out? Wait, did you already give a shout out?
I already gave my shout outs.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm way out in front of you.
I am so sorry. We don't even need to cue it. That's well, again, congratulations, and we'll see you next week at iRacing Superspeedway.
Yes, sir. We'll talk to you guys next week, hopefully.
And Will, that was Chris Darling. Almost did it tonight.
Almost. And I know it's getting repetitive throughout these broadcasts, talking about the Max Graphix iRacing team there, but they have been the story throughout this season, but they have just not been the cars crossing the finish line at the end, Tim, and it's really kept this series competitive towards the end.
Yeah, and what if we ended this season with all 12 different winners? Could you imagine?
It might happen, Tim. The competitiveness and the drive of these drivers, you always see different names up in the top 5, and that might be as far-fetched as it might sound. It might actually be a possibility with the way these cars run and the way these drivers really give it their all every week. I mean, we saw Chris Brown last week coming in his season debut and take home a victory. So we can only imagine what's going to happen towards the end of this season. We have about 4 races left here in this 12-race season, and it's really anybody's championship.
Yeah, and we're going to go ahead and bring in Jason Shu, and I'm going to let you take it away.
Thanks, Tim. I am catching up with Jason Shu here in Victory Lane. The champagne, the beer, it is raining down. He takes home the victory here at Daytona Legacy. And Jason, I just want to ask you, man, how does it feel to take home the victory from those heavyweights up at the top?
It feels awesome. It finally got myself a win.
Oh, man, we saw you working there. You were kind of behind I like to call them the heavyweight dogs of this series, and Ben Mashburn and Chris Darling. Did you see an opportunity, or were you just kind of waiting your time there? Did you know you had that move, or you were just kind of keeping it in your back pocket?
Yeah, just sitting there riding and waiting for them to get side by side, and hopefully I could slingshot by them, and it kind of worked out at the end.
Oh man, speaking with Jason Shu here in Victory Lane, he comes home the victor at Daytona Legacy, and man, we've had a different winner in every race so far this season. How are you liking your championship? How are you liking your championship outlook now you get that first victory out of the way?
It's looking a lot better than what it was. I mean, we should be a lot closer in points than what I did before I come in tonight.
Yeah, and we saw the bumpiness and kind of the slick track at Daytona, this Daytona Legacy here. Kind of take us through the flow of the race and kind of like what you felt throughout the race and what you saw from the drivers here tonight.
It was a pretty good race. I mean, the high line was definitely smoother than the bottom with all the bumps.
Right, right. That's one thing that we noticed. I think Martin Pluth kind of drifted up to the track, and it wasn't anything of his fault. He just hit a bump, and it kind of just threw his car up there. We saw very competitive racing, although you guys got fanned out there. Did you think that maybe Isaac Singleton was going to work with you there at the end, or did you just know you were on an island all by yourself?
I figured I was probably on an island all by myself. You just never know. He could have worked with me. Just never know.
Oh man, and you are the victor here tonight. You finally get that first victory out of the way. I know Chris Darling, the second place finisher, he was disappointed coming home P2, but he was a congratulatory mood for you for finally picking up this win here in the Max Graphics Super Speedway series. And how are you liking next week, man? Now you finally get the first victory out of here. Are we gonna have our first back-to-back victor here in this series?
We're going to try. That's all you can do.
That's true, man. Big victory here at Daytona Legacy. We can't let you leave victory lane without giving a shout out to some of your sponsors or anybody you had watching here tonight.
Well, you got to thank 10-4 Broadcasting and Tim and Will for uh, tonight for announcing, and Max Graphics for putting this on. And got to thank my sponsors, Firehouse Grill, First Choice Computers, Lilstown Car Wash, Larry's Lawnmower Repair, and Becky's Auto Body.
Oh man, we appreciate you taking the time with us, man. We'll let you get back to celebrating here in Victory Lane. You have a cold one here on us. Go check out Beer Street Journal. Which cold one that Jason's going to be cracking open here tonight? Which one you should be cracking open here tonight, man? And big congratulations for us from the 10-4 booth here, and I'm excited to see what you get the rest of the way.
All right, well, thanks then.
Congratulations, Jason.
Yep, thanks.
Man, Will. So what a great finish to tonight's race. And by the way, before we go any further, I just want to say I love the shirt. Smashing Pumpkins, that's amazing. First band I ever saw live. But anyways, good choice. Tonight gave us everything we could have hoped for. We had close racing. We had long green flag runs. We had green flag pit stops. You want to see all of that week in and week out. And it's hard to do that in a super speedway series. But these guys pulled it off this week. Last week there was a lot of tension. A lot of things, went down. But that is part of racing. It doesn't matter if it's virtual. It doesn't matter if it's real. If you're competitive, you're competitive. With Jason Shu, looking at the points, he was only 19 points behind the leader. And looking at calculations, it probably will bring him to about, I'm not sure who got the pole, because that includes some bonus points, but it'll probably bring him within, I want to say, within 10 points of the lead after tonight.
Oof. And like we were just speaking with him, I know he seems like a modest guy. He's very humble in his racing abilities, but man, he really showed a lot of really calmness and mellowness and zenness running in that third position right behind those heavyweight dogs and really calculated. He says he didn't, but I think he may have calculated that move and kind of waited until that opportunity came up, and he chose that perfect time to make that shoot to go for that move as Ben was getting kind of spun out by his teammate there. He made that move to kind of go up, caress right behind Chris, and just, I mean, at that point, it was already too late, and Chris was just watching him go by the finish line there. And man, this is the only series, Tim, that I get really excited about. I get jumping up and down. My voice starts getting crackly on the microphone. I'm like, it's always it's almost every finish in this Max Graphics Super Speedway. It's always a photo finish. It comes down to the last pass, last corner. Man, I'm always out of breath.
Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Once again, we have a lot of fun doing this. Next week, same time, 8:30, iRacing Super Speedway. I'm pulling for another new winner. How about you, Will?
I am too, and I'm excited to have Jason Shu on our Countdown to Green show. Actually, we do have a very special guest on that Countdown to Green show. Chris Darling is going to be on the show next week, so definitely tune in for
Nice.
that. And man, Tim, this is competitive every week. And if you haven't tuned into a race so far yet, you got to, because these races are the most competitive races I've seen. And I watched the Pro Series. I watched the Road to Pro. I watched other series, and man, even with only 14 cars in the field, it still comes down to a photo finish.
Yep. But from all of us here at 10-4 Broadcasting, on behalf of Will and myself,